If you're looking for a consistent and repeatable golf swing, then it starts with a great takeaway position. But I see so many people get it wrong. Now, one of the most common issues that I see when it comes to the takeaway is that the hands get very disconnected from the body and the club rolls in. Now, from this position, you can see the club face is very open. The hands have worked up and out in front of me. Now, if I carry on to the top of the backswing, there's going to be a whole load of compensations on the way down. Going to be extremely difficult to time. So in today's video, we're not going to run through just one fix. No, we're going to give you a multitude of different fixes. So to start with, we're going to be focusing on the arms and the forearms in particular. Then we're going to move on to the hands and the wrists, how they're supposed to work. And as well as that, we're going to give you 2 drills that are going to just effortlessly get you in the right takeaway position. So the first thing that we're going to focus on is how do the arms and the forearms work in the takeaway in order to get us back into a great position right here. Now, obviously, one of the most common issues we see is the inside takeaway. So what happens in this situation is if I set up to the golf ball here and I do this inside takeaway, you can see that I am rolling my lead forearm, my lead arm over my trail arm. In this situation here, the trail arm has a lot of arm fold, the lead arm is very much above it, and we have started to roll the club outside. Now, the other thing we can see is as we do this, the hands very much work up and then around in this position like so. Again, this is going to be a detrimental move because from there we've just set off a negative chain reaction. The club face is getting open, the shaft is getting very, very flat, and we're going to have to make compensations on the way down. So if that's not what we're looking to see, we are not looking to see the forearms roll. What are we looking to see? Well, we can use the height of the forearms as a great guide. So if I set up to the ball right here and I take this club back and I roll, you can see the forearms are pretty level, or if anything, the right forearm is under the left. Now, if I said to you, right, I want you to keep the trail arm higher than the lead arm in the takeaway, what would that look like to you? Well, if I sit up here and I go, right, let's keep the trail arm higher than the lead arm in the takeaway, suddenly now you can see we're starting to produce a very different takeaway. And it can be as simple as that, just understanding that we're not trying to get the forearms level, we're trying to keep the trail arm higher than the lead arm in the takeaway. Now, here's the thing. We need to give you an analogy that's going to really help you with this motion. So here is by far the best analogy when it comes to the takeaway. What I have here is a frisbee. Grip this frisbee as if it was a steering wheel in front of you. Now, take a look at where my thumbs are pointing. Right now, they're just pointing up and in front of me, kind of towards the camera right there. If I did an inside takeaway, I would be turning the steering wheel to the right on the way back for me as a right-handed golfer. So I would be doing this motion. Now watch what my arms are doing. As I'm turning it to the right, my right arm, my trail arm is going under my left arm. So if that's not what we're trying to do, what are we trying to do? Well, like we said, we're trying to keep the right arm higher. But how can we exaggerate this feeling? Very simple. I want you actually to feel like you turn the steering wheel slightly to the left. And again, this is a very strange concept because we're turning the steering wheel to the left as our body as a right-handed golfer is turning to the right. And again, this is a great way of over-exaggerating it. The best way of practicing this is literally grab a frisbee, grab a plate, anything that can sort of resemble this. So if I now set up to the ball and I do a takeaway and I turn that steering wheel to the left as my body turns to the right, look at now where my thumbs are pointing. They're pointing out and in front of me in this position. If I turn it to the right, they're pointing behind me. Turn it to the left, they're pointing in front of me. Now, if I just pop this on the ground for a second and I grab the golf club and now I try and replicate that same feeling, you can see if I turn it to the right, the club goes inside. And now if I turn it back to the left, the club stays out and in front of me. But look at the difference in the club face position. You can see the club face is matching my spine angle there. My hands are relatively over the toe line and my right arm is definitely higher than my left in that position. And that is a crucial checkpoint. And now let's give it a go. Let's do a little rehearsal swing, a little waggle before we hit, and then let's hit the ball. So turn the steering wheel to the left. Good. There's the position. Now let's give it a go. So let's say you gave the forearms and the arm positioning a go and it just didn't quite resonate with you and it hasn't fully fixed your takeaway. Well, not to fear, we have another option. Now we can change the emphasis a little bit and put it on the wrists and the hands. And this is what I'm trying to get across to you guys. Hopefully it's coming across this way is that, there are multiple ways of fixing things. There are multiple ways of getting the job done. It's not hard and fast rules. And this is where we can personalize it down to you. So let's get on now with the hands and the hands and the wrists and how they should work. So if you're in this situation to where as you take it back, you are rolling the club inside, what will be happening is both of your hands will be applying sort of an upward pull on the handle. Now, as you do that, you will find that that'll very much get the club working out and away, out and inside this way. Now, what you'll also find is potentially in those situations to where you just pick the club straight out as well, again, you're applying sort of an upward force with both of your hands, and this is what is going to hurt your takeaway. Now, we need to understand actually how each hand applies its force on the golf club in order to produce a good takeaway position. Now, where should the lead hand actually be pushing? And that's the clue right there. We want to be seeing that the lead hand actually pushes down and towards the trail toe right there. If we can do that, just watch from the downline view, watch this is going to do. You can see as I push down, it actually gets the club head coming up slightly and in front of me. So if you're that person that sees the hands come up straight away, club go very low and inside, you know you're definitely not doing this. We want to be feeling like the hand is pushing down on the grip, which gets the club head up. I always like to use an analogy of, imagine I've got you set up right here, but for some reason you're stood in a swimming pool and the water has come just above both of your hands right here, just above sort of your wrist joints. I want you to feel like you push down with your left hand so that the club head can come out of the water first whilst your hand is still in the water. If you apply the incorrect force and you pull up, your hand's going to come out of the water first and the club head is still going to be in the water. So we want to be feeling like the left hand pushes down on the handle, that gets the club head coming out of the water quick, gets it setting up on plane really, really well. What about the trail hand? What does the trail hand do? Well, the trail hand actually is a very simple movement, is what we class as extension. So extension of the trail wrist is just where you bring the knuckle sort of back on itself, and you can see it creates sort of this cupped position. This is what we class as extension. Great way of thinking of it is, if I was to hold a tray above my trail shoulder, that's extension of the wrist right there. So when the left hand, the lead hand, is pushing down, the trail wrist is just going to be pulling back on itself. Now, as you can see as I do this, push down with the lead, pull up with the trail hand, firstly, that gets the club head setting up nicely. Number two, it gets the hands tracing back in an awesome position. You can see they're sort of over my trail toes right there. You can also see the left arm's in a nice wide position, shoulders got some tilts, and the club face is matching spine angle. So I am pushing down with my left hand, pulling back with my right. Now, a fantastic way of practicing this is to sort of take it as like a two-parter. So it's called the stop, check and go drill. I've done this before in other videos, but it's such a good drill, I've got to do it again. You're going to set up to the ball, you're going to push down with the left, pull up with the right, and as you then get to around waist high, you're going to stop in this situation. So your hands have only just come out of the water, but the club head's long gone out the water in a nice vertical position. You're going to stop, you're going to check it, you're going to look back at the ball, and then you're just going to swing from there and hit the stop, check and go drill. Really simple drill, but it just breaks it down into manageable pieces. Let me give this drill a go for you here. So I'll go there, push down, pull back, stop, check it, good, and then go. So those are two different ways, two different concepts that we can use to fix your takeaway. But ultimately, we also need to simplify it down. And as much as I gave you some nice simple feels in there, we need to take it one step further and give you some really, really simple drills that you can do just to ingrain the right habits. It's important to understand why things are happening, which is why understanding those two concepts are key. But now we're going to give you the simple drill. And the first simple drill is the alignment stick drill. So there are two ways you can perform this. Either you can place the alignment stick right into the butt end of the grip, or you can hold it just down the side of the grip. Now I'm going to hold it just down the side of the grip in this situation. So here's how you're going to set it up. The alignment stick is going to go down the lead side of the grip. You're then going to set up to the golf ball, and the alignment stick then is going to go up your lead side. Now, if you are that golfer who is struggling with your takeaway, whether it be you're picking it up too much to the outside, you're rolling the club inside, whatever it might be, you can see on all of these situations, the alignment stick is getting disconnected from my lead hip. So here's what I want you to do. Set up to the ball and get the alignment stick connected right there. Now, as you take that club back, I want you to feel like you keep that alignment stick connected to your lead hip. You can see it sliding right there. Now, gently as we go down, as we start to set the wrist, you can see the alignment stick is going to start to slide down my lead quad muscle right there. But the key with all of this is as we take the club back to shaft parallel, is that we keep the alignment stick fully connected to some part of our left side of the body. As soon as you feel that alignment stick come off, you know something's gone wrong, whether it be the forearms, whether it be the wrist, whatever way sort of really connects with you, focus on that to try and fix it. So if I'm trying to turn the steering wheel to the left on the way back, you can see that's got me connected right there. If I'm pushing down with the left and pulling back with the right, you can see how that's got me again connected right there in a great position. So both of these sort of swing thoughts that we've discussed are going to work with this drill, and it's going to give you direct feedback as to whether you're keeping that connection nicely there with the alignment stick and the lead side of the body. Then from there you can just turn to the top of the backswing. Again, this is great because it offers a visual in terms of your top of the backswing structure behind you. But again, this is a fantastic drill that can just help you map out the takeaway. You can do this indoors, you can do this at the driving range, and it's going to give you direct feedback. So the second drill is called the finger pointer drill, and it's going to be amazing because it's going to get a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of flow into that takeaway. So what you're going to do is set up absolutely normally to the golf club. Then from there, you are going to place your index finger on your trail hand down the shaft just like so. Now, if you do an inside takeaway, the finger's going to point behind you. If you do an outside takeaway, it's going to point in front of you. But what I want to do is try and get that index finger to point upwards as fast as possible. So you can see as I take it back, I get the index finger to point upwards. That gets the club setting up on a nice plane. Forearms are in a great position. And ultimately from here, I can feel a little bit of flow to that stroke. I can really feel what it feels like to get the takeaway going back nice and free. It's relaxed my grip pressure down. And as you can see, I'm just focusing on getting my index finger pointing up to the sky. You can even hit little shots doing it like this. So if I put my index finger down the side of the grip and I say, right, try to get it to an upright position as quick as possible. Let me give it a go for you here. You can see I've hit that. That's probably going to carry the 7,500 yard mark. And again, all I was focusing on was getting that index finger to the sky right there, and I had it down the grip. So again, don't necessarily hit full shots doing this, but it's a great drill that's just going to free you up. Get that index finger pointing to the sky. Club's going to be in a great position. So there you have it. That is a super detailed video on how to fix your takeaway, but I've given you loads of different options. And like I said during the video, hopefully it shows you that there is no one fixes all. You can use different concepts, different methods, different drills to help you get the job done. Essentially, we are all different. We feel things differently, so it's important we understand the different sort of concepts that are in play here. Now, if you need a little bit more one-to-one help, then I offer online coaching on the Skillist platform. Please check it out. The link is down below. I'd love to work with you. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.